Okay, welcome back. This particular video is going to cover the Waterfall gift card holder. And this one is really an interesting card. I really like this. Now, this is my prototype. I'm using a piece of stock that this particular one, you can make it either way. This one is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, but the one that I'm going to show you today is going to be done at 4.25 by 11. Same thing, just gives you a different landscape. So that will be your cardstock, and then you're going to have a piece of DSP that's going to be 4 by 5.25, which you'll place on top of your card base, just like we always do. Now, this piece here is where we're going to make. I haven't attached it. This is where you're going to make your waterfall card. So what you want to do is you're going to take a piece, coordinating cardstock. You're going to cut this at 9.5 by 2 3/4, 9.5 by 2 3/4, and then we're going to score this at 2 3/4, 3 3/4, and 4 3/4. And then we're going to take a half a strip of the same coordinating cardstock. So this is going to be 3/4 by 4. And what we'll do is when we get ready to attach it, we're only going to put a little bit of adhesive on each end because we want to be able to get this to slide through. And then I've used a retired, I think this is retired, any kind of pull you may want to have so that the person who receives it will know they need to pull. And then I'm going to put a little bit of ribbon on that so they'll know that they need to pull that. So that'll kind of be a giveaway as well, right? And then for the gift card piece, you're going to use your coordinating designer series paper, and that's going to be 4.5 by 2 inches. That will be, I'm going to use tear and tape, and you're just going to place it right along the bottom and slightly up. You want to be able to get a gift card in there, okay? And then we'll attach, once this gets done, and we're going to, only way we're going to attach this is going to be on this piece right here, because when we pull it, then this is going to start folding everything over, okay? And then these squares are going to be 2.5 square, which means it's 2.5 by 2.5. And then you'll place glue here, and you'll do your square, and so on and so on. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. So I've cut my card base at 4.25 by 11. So we're going to bring this in, and we're going to score this at 5.5, right? Because 5.5 is half of 11. So we're going to go ahead and score that, give it a good score. Now this is our pull, this is our trigger that's going to have the waterfall on it. So again, this is 9.5 by 2 3/4, and we're going to place this back into our paper trimmer. We're going to score this at 2 3/4, right? So we're going to do 2, 3, and 4, right? So 2 3/4, 3 3/4. Always make sure you've got it butted up to your head up here, and then 4 3/4. So that's going to create our waterfall, and we're going to go ahead and fold this. So we're going to fold this down, and we just want to make sure that we burnish everything and make sure our sides are lined up. They're not off, so we want to give a burnish to that. Then these are ones that we're going to fold, so they're going to continue to, we'll fold this here, give that a burnish because that's going to be in half. And then we're going to fold this one back, and we'll fold this one back. Okay, so that kind of gives you that fold. So as we pull this, this is going to fold back, and then you'll see your little cards flip. And then let's go ahead and fold our card base. So we'll do that. So the only difference is that instead of it opening upwards towards you or away from you, this is going to open from right to left. So that's the only difference in how we're going to do that. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is I've cut some of the kindness gnomes, and I am going to place that on here, and this is at 4 5 1/4. So there's our gnomes right there. I hate to cover up those little pretty little guys, but we have to do something a little bit different. And I hope if this is your first video watching the first video, welcome. I hope you enjoy this. And if it's getting to be several in, I hope you're enjoying this class and creating all these neat fun folds. So we're going to lay that on here and make sure that we've got it straight and it's evened out. And then I've cut a piece for the pull mechanism, and this is cut at 1.5 inches, and I did it by like 3 3/4. Okay, so what we'll do, the first thing is I'm going to use one of our punches, which is an older one. We're going to use this one. I'm going to place this in here. I'm going to flip it upside down because I can see if it's going to be straight, even in the center. And I'm going to I think that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. And then that's what we're gonna do for our pull. And we're gonna attach that to this piece right here. And I'm gonna put it out, I'm gonna pull my ribbon in now so that I don't forget. So let's go ahead and add this piece of ribbon. And this is the Balmy Blue double stitched ribbon. I'm just gonna put this in here, and I'm going to get some baker's twine. That's good enough. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, so now we have our mechanism. So we're gonna put this right about like that. Now, if this folds out, it's okay, because you can fold this into the card, which is not gonna be a problem, okay? So we can even push it in a little bit, and that way they can pull this, okay? That's what that's gonna do. Now, we're going to, so let's go ahead and we're gonna glue this down, and I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit. And I've got this piece of paper, designer paper, which is gonna be 4.5 by 2. So I want to, I'm gonna put that right about there. And I'm gonna put that, and once I glue that down, then I'm gonna put this paper right about here. Now I'm gonna do 4 1/4 first, and let's see what that does. I don't wanna cut it too short. And I want my flowers, my snowflakes at the bottom. And we want to cover this up, right? Okay, so there we go. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a, we're going to cut a 1-inch circle just so they have a place that they can pull the card out. So any circle punch works. So 1 inch one works pretty well. And I'm going to probably do this right about in the center. So I'm just going to come in and just snip off enough to where it gives them a grab. So let's go ahead and attach that. And I think I'm gonna use my seal, so I'm just gonna put a little bit on each side and at the bottom. So we wanna get this, I'm gonna put a little bit lower. Now this piece is gonna go right about like that, actually. I'm gonna put some tear and tape right on the bottom of this and slightly up. I'm not gonna put it all the way to the top, but I'm gonna do the bottom, and then I'll do partially up on the sides, because I want to make sure that the gift card, or if you're giving this to the person if you're giving it to the person and not mailing it, you can put cash in here if you choose to do it that way. And I'm just going to put a little bit of tape right here. I'm not going to go all the way to the top, because we want to make sure that they have room that the gift card will slide in. So, and this is strong tape, so I don't think we need to go all the way. All right, and then we'll do the same on this side. Peel this off. I always use my scissors. If you have your take your pick tool, that's probably a good thing to use as well. I just have always used my scissors. You know, sometimes how you start, you have a habit, you start something and it's hard to change from what you're used to doing. I guess if I just pull my pick tool out, I probably would use it more often, right? Okay, so we've got that. So now I want to make sure I get this adhered where I want it. And I'm going to put it right about there. And then we're going to give them a gift card. We'll just slide that right in. Look at that. So it goes right in the hole. And it doesn't have to go all the way in, because it's going to be inside your card. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we need to attach this to the front of our card. 3/4 by 4. We want to come in enough on the side. So what we want to do is we want our card. So this is going to be laid like this, right on the front of the thing, on the card itself. So we want this to be right about here. So we're going to glue this down. Actually, we could pop it up on a dimensional. So this is a 1/2, which is no problem. We'll move it up just a little bit. How's that? All right, so we're going to go ahead and leave our mechanism there. So I'm going to put a little dimensional. Now we could do adhesive, but I think a little dimensional would be fine right on the edges. And then that way we've got plenty of room for that to slide in and out. And we'll put one here. And then we'll put one here. And you can use your adhesive. I'm experimenting here with these. We'll see how it works. It should work fine. Whoops, there we go. So let's go ahead and pull the backs off of these. All right, so we're gonna put that right about there. So I'm gonna place this right here. So then we pull. Well, we're going to glue this down in a minute, but when we pull, it's going to come out. Now we'll pull, once we get ready, we're going to adhere that to here. let's go ahead and do our decorating. So I've got my 3.5 squares. So you're gonna glue, when we get done, we're gonna stamp these. So we're gonna have one here, then one's gonna go here, and then one's gonna go on top. All right, so they're gonna be all in a row. So we're gonna do a quick stamp. It won't take long. We're gonna go ahead, and I am using the stamp set, which is all bundled up. So we're gonna use the raccoon, the moose, and the bunny rabbit. And we're gonna go ahead and get those stamped and do some quick coloring. And again, you can use whatever stuff you have at home, whatever colors you wanna make these, that's up to you. All right, so we're gonna stamp up the moose. So we're gonna get him on one of these. He's not gonna get his whole body on it, but we're gonna get a good portion of him. So we're gonna get as much as we can for him, and we'll probably make him the first one. All right, so we've got his pretty little face there. The raccoon, what did I do with my bird? Oh, there's my bunny rabbit. All right, and then we got Mr. Raccoon on here. So we'll go ahead and stamp him as well. And then we're gonna do the bunny rabbit, and he's gonna get stamped. Now you can decorate the outside if you want, add grass or whatever. I'm not gonna do that for the video, but if you choose, you can do that. If you'd like to add some more decorations to it, that's fine. It's not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so let's take this piece of paper. I'm gonna set this under here since it does bleed through, and we'll get some coloring happening here. What we want. So I think what I'm going to do, I wanna put the moose here, and he's gonna be the one that's gonna be speaking to everybody. And then we'll put the bunny and then the raccoon. And then that way, when we start to pull, we'll see the moose's face. So let's go ahead and do it that way. All right, so we're gonna add some adhesive to the moose. All right, and again, this is 2.5 square. So we're gonna lay that right in there. We'll put this, let's put the raccoon on the front top. We'll put bunny. Now, here is where we only wanna put glue on this side right here, right? Because we want that, this is what we need to move. So we can go ahead and just add a little bit of adhesive here. Okay, that's all we want for our bunny because we don't want it to not open. And then we're gonna put Mr. Raccoon on this side. Okay, and then Mr. Raccoon's gonna go right here. Place him right there, get him even. All right, so there we go with that. All right, so now I've trimmed this down. So now what we need to do is to go ahead and add our adhesive. Now I've got this lined up and I've got it centered. I trimmed this down so it's not sticking out as much. Now all we want to do is we're going to put adhesive right on this side here, right here, not on this side and not on this side. So I'm gonna put my, my seal and I'm gonna just place from right here to right about there, okay? And I'll just do a little smidge there and a little smidge right there. Okay, so let's get this position before we close it. And I wanna make sure, whoops, before we get this, I want this centered. And I think that looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and seal him up. And then our card is ready to go. Oops, I've got some glue on it. And we'll just pull it, and then there you go. And then your gift card's right there. And then on the inside of the card is where we will put our basic white. So let's go ahead and put that, and that's where you can either stamp or write your message. So let's go ahead and add that piece in here. So let's go ahead and put that in here. And get that straight. And there you go. You can stamp or print your message on the inside. And there is our Waterfall gift card. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this class and we'll see you soon.